Welcome to Listen to Me, a multi-voiced exploration of the city with 21 guests sharing their personal experiences of Milan's contemporary art, architecture, design, music, fashion and literature. We explore each theme in 4 episodes. Let's start with the first episode on our journey dedicated to contemporary art.
Milan, as described in the futurists' avant-garde vision, is a city of the modern, of the contemporary. It was like this in the 20th century, and it's still like this today. It's the home of the most important collectors in our country, and some of the most important galleries. There's an industrial system that's extremely aware of the contemporary art world.
This is Vincenzo Trione, lecturer, historian and art critic for the Corriere della Sera newspaper. He's talking about futurism, the art movement that began right here in Milan at number 21 Corso Venezia, in the home of the futurist writer Marinetti. Today, on that house, a plaque reminds us that there, in 1905, Marinetti founded a magazine called Poesia, Poetry, and from here, the futurist movement launched its challenge against the moonlight shimmering on Milan's Naviglio Canal. The moon's still shining on the canal, but futurism spread new artists, new ideas and new masterpieces that we can still admire in its museums throughout the city. And if you love exploring the latest artistic trends, these are the art spaces where you can take a journey of discovery through the geography of contemporary art. For example, Galleria Liarumma. The Liarumma Gallery is a centre for promoting art on a global level, which helps make the Cenisio district, where it is located, an up-and-coming art district. Here's Vincenzo Trione again on Galleria Liarumma.
Maybe I'm biased because there's a lot of affection and familiarity with Lia, who's from Naples like me, and has relocated to Milan, so there's this link. But objectively, the Liarumma Gallery is the one gallery in Italy that currently has a truly international programme. She promotes artists like Kentridge, Kossuth and Kiefer. I've deliberately chosen 3 artists beginning with K, who are very well known. They're a piece of art history, and Lia manages them, helps them, and promotes them in the best possible way.
Galleria Liarumma, the Liarumma Gallery, is just a few minutes' walk from the stop Cenisio on the purple metro line M5.
And while we're on the subject of Kiefer, there's another space you absolutely must visit, Hangar Bicocca, where you'll find Kiefer's The 7 Heavenly Palaces, one of the biggest contemporary art installations in the world. The hangar also has an interesting programme of temporary exhibitions, as Vincenzo Trione confirms.
I must say that the hangar has changed its appearance a bit in recent years. I mean, from just being home to Kiefer's 7 Heavenly Palaces, it's become an extremely well-structured space. It's perhaps the only real Italian and Milanese Kunsthalle.
Let's also hear from Alessandra Baldereschi, a designer who lives near Hangar Bicocca.
I think it's a magical place because it has this giant area where every artist can express themselves, and it's not that easy in such a big space. For me, the most touching thing there are Kiefer's towers. Every time I have friends over, like last Sunday for example, I've taken them to see the towers. They had their 9-year-old son with them, and he was mesmerised. How do they stay up? Are they going to fall down? No, don't worry. They're not going to fall down. But it's breathtaking, isn't it? Even just going in to see these 7 concrete towers that look like they could collapse at any moment. It's a real apocalyptic vision, like a science fiction film.
From Milan city centre, it takes around 30 minutes to reach Hangar Bicocca on the purple metro line M5. The closest stop is Ponale.
And for fans of street art, we suggest visiting some of the suburbs like Ortica, Barona or San Siro to discover an increasingly interesting art scene, as Vincenzo Trione confirms.
Milan,
together with Rome, Naples and Turin, is becoming an international street art capital. There are even tourist itineraries for street art. There are also street art mapping devices and tours. It is probably one of those phenomena that still needs to be fully understood, but it shows a coexistence that's not really well known in Milan, of a glamorous side and a more underground side. And often, the underground side is more interesting.
Art travellers like you should also explore the beauty of MiArt, an international modern and contemporary art fair that gives you the chance to discover and maybe even buy masterpieces from the early 20th century to the latest artworks on a spring weekend.
MiArt takes place in Fiera Milano City, the exhibition and trade fair centre just a short walk from the stop Portello on the purple metro line M5.
This is the end of our episode, but don't put your headphones away. As promised, in the next episodes, we'll take an in-depth look at 3 important districts for modern and contemporary art in Milan, starting with the centre of Milan, Piazza Duomo. To listen to the next episodes, follow us on your favourite podcast platforms or visit www.casemuseo.it, where you can also buy the Casa Museo card to visit the Poldi Pezzoli Museum, the Bagatti Valsecchi Museum and the Villa Necchi Campiglio of Milan's house museums at a discount price. The Boschi di Stefano House Museum is free to visit.